Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and today I want to show you some ideas on making your own background pages to use in your junk journals. We're going to be using from the Dancing Dragonfly Tattered Angels Glimmer Mists set. I'll also be using the Dancing Dragonflies color that comes in the subscription box. I've got lots of book pages. I've also got some text weight paper in white and a very light sage green that I've had forever. And then I've got several stencil sets. Some of these are the Artistic Stencil Club, April and May, as well as the Dancing Dragonfly stencils. So let's get started here. Now, I have on my work surface a drop cloth because Tattered Angels, you'll get oversprayed. And generally, I like to spray inside a box, but some of the techniques that I want to do today, I want to not have that restriction of the box being in my way. So you're going to see me possibly use a box sometimes, and sometimes I won't. And it's just a box to help keep the spray from going everywhere. So to get started, I've got this, it's kind of a sagey green linen paper. I'm putting a white piece so you can kind of see the difference. I got this paper, I think almost 20 years ago. And I paid like $2 for the ream, and it was normally $28 per ream. And I got it really, really cheap. So I've been trying to use it up. And by altering it with Tattered Angels, I can change the color. So I'm going to lay it down on my desk here. This is from the April Artistic Stencil Club. So I'm going to lay it down on my piece of paper, and then I'm going to grab a color of Tattered Angels. Now, the first couple of times what I'll do is maybe only make a solid color where I'm just using one color of Tattered Angels, and then a little bit later we'll mix them together. So I've got the deep pink. It's a really dark, beautiful shade of pink. So we're going to spray that. And you want to make sure that you shake your Tattered Angels side to side to get that mica up into the liquid, because you don't want it settling down the bottom, or it will suck it up into the straw and then it will clog. So I'm going to grab a book page and I'm just going to lay it over the stencil and mop up any Tattered Angels that's on here. So right off the bat, I've just altered a book page, and then here is where I've sprayed onto my copy paper, if you will. Okay. Sometimes I'll go ahead and flip it over and spray on the other side. This time I'm going to wait because I think I want to do some other techniques with it, and we'll just save that for later. I'm just going to keep grabbing different stencils, and I'll use different colors real fast. This time I have Purple Pop. It's a really pretty shade of purple. And I've got a couple of smaller book pages that I'm going to lay on here. And I'm going to come back to the mop-up paper that I made earlier and lay that over, and it'll create a little frame on the outside edge. So see how it kind of made a little frame on the outside? And then there's my book page that's been altered. And then there is my base paper. Again, from the April Stencil Club. This time, since there's two different sides here, I'm going to use a couple of different colors. So I'm going to grab, let's do this. Let's do the blue water. It's a pretty shade of blue. And then I have Lily Pad. It's a beautiful shade of green. So I'm going to shake these up real well. Teal kind of blue color and the green. I like it. Now I've got the May Stencil Club here. This time I've got the Dancing Dragonflies. I kind of think this reminds me of a little bit of Tiffany blue. Kind of see that subtle blue. It's with a gold tint on it. There it is on the page. It's got a gold shimmer to it. Another of the May Stencil Club. This time I'm going to use the, not blue water, I wanted the darker blue. There it is, deep blue. You can see that dark blue on there. I like it. All right, so I think other than using the transparent gold, which I'll save that for later, I'm just going to play around with different colors on my papers. So this is the half sheet from the May Stencil Club. So let's mix a little bit of colors here. So I've got the purple, and I've got the kind of a Tiffany blue. So I'm going to spray a little bit of that on there. Do a little bit of this purple, and then let's add a little bit of this blue. You know what? I think this green would be a good touch, just to have a little bit of. And then I'll grab another book page and go over the top to mop up. I like doing this technique because you get 2 in 1 when you spray. Oh, I like that with that multicolors. And there it is on the book page. Lovely. This time I have the stencil from the Dancing Dragonflies kit. And I think I'm going to mix a little bit of the purple pop and the deep pink. And maybe just a little bit of the blue water. I'm going to take one of the previous prints and put it over the top, and it'll give it a little frame on the back side. So it's just a touch of color around that outside edge. And there's my mop up on the book page. And then here is, ooh, I like the way that turned out. This is the foundation paper that I made. Pretty! This is one of these techniques that you could just sit here and color every sheet of paper that you have. And it's one of the reasons I like to have plain papers in my stash so I can alter them by adding the Tattered Angels to them. All right, so I think we need a little bit of green. So I'm going to do the green. This is the other stencil that comes in the Artistic Stencil Club. We're going to come in with this blue and maybe a little bit of the purple. Lots of color. Now I'm going to come back and grab a few of these stencils, and I'm going to lay them in different configurations because I want different patterns on either side. We're going to spray it again. That was the blue. This is the green. Let's do the pink. It kind of makes it a purple. And then this time I'm going to just touch a piece of paper every so often here at different angles. So I'm just kind of mopping up so then I'll get all these different pieces with a little bit of pattern on them. And I like the way that turned out. Ooh, lovely. Lovely. Lovely colors. All right, so we're going to clean up here. I'll show you all the pages that we made. Let's make something. All right, so let's flip through some of these pages that I made. So these were just some of the smaller pages that I was kind of mopping up. I just wanted to have some cool, interesting patterns and textures. This is where I laid a piece of paper down and then mopped up and got a frame. And here's the other side. Here's where we mixed colors and mopped up. Here's where we sprayed through different stencils on a page. That was a mop-up page, and you see that subtle pattern in there. Spraying through the stencil, spraying through the stencil. Lots of different colors that we can put together here. I love the way this one turned out. And this one's probably one of my favorites. I like that coloring. And then mopping up on the book pages. So now that I've made all these pages, what do you do with them? Well, you can just use them as you would traditional papers that you want to decorate with. What I want to do is basically make a journal page where I kind of cut up these pages and paste them onto a foundation paper to make an element to go in a junk journal. So I'm going to spend a moment and pick a few of these pages that I like, and I'm going to cut them up. And we'll use them on a page here. So I've just got my ruler here, and I'll come in here and say, well, I really don't want this border on my elements that I'm going to do. So I'm going to slide my ruler over here and just tear along that edge. Now you want to make sure that your paper is dry. So after you've done your little session of making pages, let it dry for a few minutes so that it won't tear unevenly. All right, so I know that I want to make some, basically, probably kind of like a half page in my journal that's kind of collaged on. So I'm just going to grab a few of these pieces that I have colored, and I'll start gluing them down randomly all over this foundation page. So you can use any kind of glue that you like. I prefer to create what is called like a glue pot. It's a sponge with water and Aleene's Tacky glue, so it's a little bit thinner. And I'll come in here and paint the back side of my paper with a paintbrush, and then I'll just lay it down. I do have a non-stick surface underneath my page here. Now, if you want more definition in between, you could go around each edge with distress inks. I'm just going to come in here and layer these up. All right, so there's my paper all decorated with the scraps of papers that I made. I'll go ahead and add more glue to my glue pot, and I'll put the lid on and set it aside, and it'll be ready for me next time. Make sure you use an airtight container when you make one of these pots. All right, so this is still a little bit damp, so I'm going to hit it with my heat tool, and I'll trim off the excess on the edges. All right, so I've got this page. I think what I'll do is fold it in half, and then I'll cut it. So I'll use my paper trimmer so I get a straight cut. I'm liking the way this looks. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to look through my papers here. Maybe these two would be good. So what I'll do is take this piece and we're going to adhere it to the back side of this other piece. So it'll make it a little bit thicker, and it will give us some writing space on that side. And I'll flip this over and use my bone folder to kind of smooth that out. I'll set that aside to dry for a moment, and then I'm going to do this the same way. Okay, so now I have these glued together. I'm going to take my paper trimmer and then trim off this excess. I'll go around the edges with some distress ink. I've got walnut stain. I like the way this looks, so that's part of the reason why I choose it, because I like that dark color. And I'm going to go around this side as well. So that's what our pages looks like so far. So I'm going to grab some supplies and let's do some decorating. So I've got out some of my rubber stamps. I have new rubber stamps that I've created that are in my shop. And then I have a few rubber stamps from Beeline Designs that are available in my shop as well. And then I have the fussy cut elements from the Dancing Dragonflies creative subscription box. I found this was pretty easy for me if I could lay them all out as I cut them apart and put them in a tray. Then I could see what I have and I stack all my trays up. So it's a tip for you. All right, so I think what I want to do is take a look at these. I'm going to fold them in half, and these are going to become pages in my journal. And I like to kind of indicate where the center is on my pages, so I'll fold it back upon itself sometimes, and then just use my distress ink to kind of mark where the center is. That's the only purpose that that serves. You're not really going to see it when it's bound in a journal. All right, I think I want to do some stamping on here. So I've got one of the dragonflies from the Dragonfly collection, and we'll stamp that. It's kind of in this corner, I guess. I like that. It's kind of a skeleton looking dragonfly. I like that. So let's see what else I've got here. How about one of the smaller dragonflies, and we'll stamp it in the opposite corner. Just grabbing some of the little numbers, kind of like specimen numbers. And I think I want some decorative around the corner here. So I'm going to grab a border type stamp that I want to use. And not necessarily a true border stamp, because I like to stamp over the edge. I have the Beach Rose Large, and I'm using archival ink jet black. So I'm just going to stamp this kind of off the edge. It kind of gives a little pattern around the outside edge. You see how that's coming together? And I'll do that to this page as well. Okay, I'm liking how that looks. And I think the little specimen number would be good. So I'll just kind of put that right there. I'm working on 2 journals, so that's why I'm repeating this page twice. That way I have one for each journal. They'll be a little bit different, but the same concept. So we've got this decorated up. I think that's good enough for this side, so let's flip it over. So I'm just kind of looking at this page. I'm going to go through my fussy cut elements and see if there's something that kind of sparks joy in me. So I'm looking at this, and I've decided that I want to make a little tuck spot down here in the corner. I've got this little card that I thought would look cute sticking out of there. And then on this side, I thought we would do a little decoration up there, but we have a space here where we could write. So I'm looking at these scraps to see if there's one that kind of makes me feel like that's what I want to do. Or maybe I'll just go get another piece altogether. Maybe this pink would be good. All right, so I'm going to look at how deep this is. So I'm getting my paper cutter out. So it's about 4.5 inches. I'm going to put that little piece up there. So what if we do maybe a 4x4 square. So if I go this way, and then I can trim this down to 4 inches. I'm going to go this way first. Let's see if we like that look. Maybe we'll layer that over it. So yes, I did cover up behind there, but now I've created a little bit of writing space here. So I'm going to go around these pieces with Distress ink. Whenever I cut apart digitals, I save the little strips, especially if they're a nice size. And I've got the stamp On This Day. And I thought I would stamp it on this scrap of paper. And then we'll go around the edges with some Distress ink. I think we need something else on here. Maybe I'll go down here. I think I like that. I'm going to stamp this again. I'm liking it so far. I think it needs a little something else. So what I'm going to do is we're going to stamp around this outside edge. I have this stamp from the Stitches set. And we're just going to stamp it right along the edge. Okay, I think I'm liking this. You know, I changed my mind 2 or 3 times when I go to lay something out. So you don't have to pick the first time you lay it down. But I think I like this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece down. I'm going to glue this one up at the top here. I decided I wanted it down here on the bottom, so it left us more journaling space there. All right, so let's glue this down on this side. And then this is going to go in the pocket. We need a little something up there, so let's look at another stamp we could use. Oh, here we go. This one says, I am enough. So let me grab another scrap of paper. That one looks big enough. All right, I think I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. All right, so here is our finished journal pages. So I'll kind of give you the look of the sides here. So when it's folded, you have this little area that you can write in. You've got the decorations on here. We've got a little tuck spot. Then you open this up and we have all this journaling space on the inside. And can you see how cool it is just by using the different sprays and the different stencils, how you can do the same thing, but you get a different look. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of creating your own background pages and then making a journal page to fit in your journal. I hope you appreciate this. If you do, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Come to my live stream on Monday. This past Monday on April the 26th, I will have used these in that journal cover or that journal so you can see how it looks all together. And then of course next Monday I'll show how to use the large digital kit of the dancing dragonflies along with more stencils, stamping, and other stuff. Again, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate your support. Have a fabulous day. Bye, everybody.